but they're Baltimore. I grew up in the
They're doing the national No, they're doing the national anthem.
But I Caitlin Lowe.
It's a 13-point game. Let's do it.
Especially now that everybody does 5 points for 50-yarders.
This is Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 FM and iTalk1067.com. Also brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Beamer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. And now, Sholo Ford presents high school football on iTalk 106.7 and worldwide on iTalk1067.com.
Very good evening, and thank you for joining us here at Bradshaw Mountain High School, where the Lobos are 2-0 and have made the trip. This will be the fourth time in 4 years that Snowflake has taken on Bradshaw, the third time of those four here in Prescott Valley, as the Bears check in 1-1, having a disappointing opening against Arcadia, but then a big win against Independence. Of course, Snowflake, huge win over ALA West Foothills that really seemed as if it was a demonstration more than anything that the Lobos have recovered fully from all the losses that they had up front. As I'm Derek Palmer alongside Mike Brogan. And Mike, what does that say more coming into this one about what Snowflake was able to do, that they were able to win that game, or is that an indication, in your opinion, about the trajectory of this Lobos team?
Yeah, for me, it's more of a trajectory of what we're expecting the team, especially when they're as young as they are, as inexperienced as they appeared to be at the start of the season. When you have 5 new offensive linemen and you see that type of improvement from week 1 to week 2. I don't know how you can be anything but excited to see how it's going to play out the rest of the year. They handled that pretty big front from ALA pretty well last week. The physicality looked like traditional Snowflake offensive line play. So It was nice to see, Jacob Leduc struggled a little bit in week 1, the running game, whatever we ended up with 6 or 8 sacks. And they seem to got that wrapped up last week as well. So, I think they're going to continue to get better every week.
So Snowflake wins the toss and elects to defer. As we take a quick look at the Ace Hardware keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware in Pinetop, Overguard, and Sholo. What's the key here?
I think it's, I hate to sound like an old record, the football. So I think that defensive line play, controlling Bradshaw Mountain's run game will be crucial for Snowflake tonight.
It's a Bradshaw Mountain team that usually looks very big, plays that way, and the Lobos just had the great prep for that, playing against a legitimately huge ALA West Foothills team that had a legitimately huge and fast running back they were able to completely bottle up. So prep indeed, as that was the Ace Hardware keys to the game. Ace Hardware has a 24/7 locksmith. The next time you're locked out of your car or just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week, call Ace Hardware in Pinetop, Overguard, and Sholo. Here comes the Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You'll pay the lowest tuition in the state as it's bounced to the right side. Now slipping away from a couple of tacklers, still going to the far sideline toward the home sideline. And getting a return of about 15 yards, maybe closer to 20. It's going to be spotted right around the 20, but to get those 20 yards, about 40 were run.
Yeah, really good kick. Again, we talked the last couple of weeks, that hang up in the air pretty well, allows coverage to get some depth covering the football, and they did a really good job holding their contained lanes and pushing them all the way out to the sideline.
Here come the Bears, wearing black on the hats, shirts, and pants. Keeping an eye on Michael Sanford, who's completed almost half of his passes, 107 yards a game, as they're going to give a handoff and go to the right side into the far sideline. A big burst play as it's all the way out past the 30. As Willis was able to get the stop, and I believe on the carry, that was Kylan Jackson, who rushes for about 150 yards a game in his own right. So they got big play capability, or at least a dual threat in the backfield, maybe much more so than they've faced have the Lobos, though Coconino seemed as if they had a little bit of that as well. 14 yards on the first down carry, and already at the line of scrimmage are the Bears with 3 receivers coming out wide to the left. Now move Jackson out as they look to set up the option, pitch it to him at the 30, picks up a block, gets over the 35, and then is spun down over the 40. Kind of reads there.
They missed that hold and when on tackle. Merrill looks like Merrill got taken down right at the point of attack there, but
fans below us here, I believe they saw the same thing, as there's 2 carries and 23 quick yards for Jackson. And much different approach, as he is much quicker to the line of scrimmage than anything that the Lobos have seen, while still having that same size that was present yesterday. 2 receivers stacked on either side. Now going in motion, fake the handoff. Sanford's going to keep this one, trying to fight for the yard needed, instead loses a little bit.
Yeah, and a really good job. The defensive line, they did a really good job, plugging everything up and forced the quarterback to bounce that outside, and they did a really good job getting to that.
Merrill there with the stop. Here's their game's first 3rd down play. Lost a little bit more than a yard, it looks like, as it's going to be spotted on the Bradshaw Mountain 41. The Bears took the kickoff and returned it to the 20. Had a 14-yard gain followed by a 9-yard gain, but nothing on 2nd and short. Now 3rd down, they're calling it 3. I formation, more pistol, I beg your pardon. As from the shotgun, Sanford is going to have Jackson behind him. 3 receivers going to the right side, handed off to Jackson, accelerates at the line of scrimmage and is dropped after a 2-yard gain. He's short by 1.
Yeah, Hayden Nichols doing a good job filling that hole. Looked like they might be able to get something on that 4th and short, but Nichols came up and filled that hole really quickly and forces this 4th down play. Looks about 4th and 2 here.
4th and 2 in their own territory, and Bradshaw Mountain's going for it. Snowflake has been very good about not jumping into the neutral zone. Got the same formation, hard count from Sanford. Nobody's moving. The play clock isn't moving, so we can't help you there. Nobody's counting anything down in the backfield that's wearing a striped shirt. Sanford now checks his sideline, and now a timeout will be taken. That was a token effort to try to get the Lobos off sides, but Snowflake not doing them any favors as there's no score, and it looks as if the Bears are going to be punting with 9:38 to go in the first quarter. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Fourth down and 2. And Bradshaw Mountain, after the timeout, is bringing the offense back out there. Got 25 yards on 3 carries from Kylan Jackson. Going in motion left to right, Dabney now makes it 3 receivers on that side. They do snap it, drop it into the flats where it's caught at the 45 and will move the chains. What a gamble, and it pays off here for the Bears.
Yeah, just a nice, play action pass. The tight end just runs a little out route. And they just get that first down by about a yard.
I believe that was Dabney on the reception as King is able to bring him down. And moving the chains to the 45 and approaching midfield. I was certain they were coming out to pass that, but Bradshaw coming off of a loss in week 1 and a big win against Independence. Trying to capitalize now against a Snowflake team that is starting to get an awful lot of notoriety, especially from the computers. Now 1st and 10. Handed off, Jackson comes to the near side, but this time bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. Another tackle for loss here from the Lobo front.
Yeah, really good job with Reed, and Merrill's in there as well, but they all are doing a really good job holding their lanes and not giving anywhere for that, not giving that running back anywhere to go.
2nd down and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Again with the pistol formation, and again turn and give. Jackson this time bounces it to the right side, but another great job by the Lobo ends, keeping him right around the line of scrimmage. He gets maybe a yard and a half back, but it's still behind the sticks here facing 3rd and long.
Yeah, again, and I know we mentioned this the last couple of weeks as well. It is just so hard to go sideline to sideline against Snowflake's defense. They're quick, they cover the field really well, and so if you're going to kind of run some of those delayed, kind of slow developing handoffs, it's going to be tough to gain anything substantial.
Now, they've already gone for it once in their own territory, has Bradshaw Mountain, so you wonder if they're just trying to get 5 yards here and keep Snowflake's defense on the field. 7:45 to go. There's no score. 3rd down and 11. Sanford drops back, lots of time, now throws it over the middle, and it's intercepted, taken away, and then brought back to midfield and into Bradshaw Mountain territory. Is there with the stop and pick is Jackson Merrill.
Yeah, really good job. Just it looks like he had that inside receiver and came across the field with him, and that throw may have been just a hair behind the receiver there, and Jackson's good enough hands. It looks like, maybe they got another wide receiver they didn't know about.
Snowflake takes the turnover into Bradshaw Mountain territory. Bears hold on to the football for 4.5 minutes, but no points and just a couple of first downs to show for it. Now here comes Jacob Leduc and Green behind him in the pistol formation. Going in motion right to left is Willis, but hold the phone. Maybe a lineman flinched.
Yeah, somebody moved. It's coming back this way. Well, we're on the visitor side, so we are not going to get to see the signal from the referee here either.
So 1st and 15, the Lobos were not very penalized last week against ALA West Foothills. 2 receivers on either side as Leduc wants to pass. Comes to the near side where it's grabbed by Rabin as he was running along the 45. Looks like he gets the 5 yards lost on the penalty, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, just an out route there, and Leduc made a pretty good read and delivered that ball pretty good. That's a terrible spot, by the way.
Yeah, it looked like he was running along the 45.
Yeah, he was on the 45-yard line. We're about 2 yards short of where it should have been. But
all right, well, 2nd and 9 nonetheless. Trips to the left. Leduc, who threw on first down, this time gives to Green, goes over the 45 and falls forward to the 42, picks up 04, make it now 3rd down and 6. Garrett there with the stop. Green's been the workhorse for the Lobos. As he's had big bursts occasionally, but he and the Snowflake offensive line have really been wearing down defenses. He's getting an awful lot of his yards in the second half here in the early going as he comes out again. Pistol formation. They're calling it 3rd down and 6 in Bradshaw Mountain territory, approaching the 40. Receivers bunched up to the right of the line as LeDuc drops back, pressured, now sets up a pass flown over the top of the defense, but had momentarily by Willis. Oh, I thought I saw a flag come out, but it was just a waving towel on the Bradshaw Mountain sideline.
Yeah, pretty good ball there, just up a little bit. Unfortunately, Willis couldn't come down with that, but.
So Snowflake, which uses LeDuc as a punter, brings out about 20 players. Is now a bunch of them are coming back off. It looks like all the receivers that you would expect to run an offensive set are on the line of scrimmage. LeDuc right now seemingly operating as a quarterback, has time, hard count, nobody's flinching, now backs away, looks like he wants to punt. Switches spots with Green, and a player moved off the left of the line, but no flag comes out as he has this one rolling into the end zone and then off of an official. So Snowflake hurts itself after the interception with a procedure penalty. Might have been burned on a spot, and then looked like there was a little bit of confusion as the offense and special teams units were kind of colliding, coming on and off. Lobos have already had to make a long trip to start the season in Coconino, but same sort of thing there. It looked like the first quarter took them a little bit while to adjust.
Yeah, I don't know what is about. Probably by bus, you might be looking at 3.5 hours maybe coming out of Snowflake, and so it may just take them a little bit to get their legs underneath them. But we're seeing a whole bunch of kids running in and out, like just a little.
Merrill's now set up after he's laid off the sideline. Flip this one out to the far side where there's some blockers to try to help out. Who caught that? That
16.
On the reception is Carson Gilpin. His second catch on the year. Moves the stick out to about the 26-yard line, gains 6.
Yeah, just kind of that new wide receiver screen, if you will, where they run 2 wideouts over there together, and then one blocks, and they throw the ball to the second one.
Jackson back in the pistol. He has 25 yards on 5 carries. Now moves off to the right side, set the option in that direction, gets the pitch, gets to the sideline, gets toward the 30. Looks like he's marked shy, about 1 yard away from a first down, make it 3rd and short. Rabin was there with the stop. They got that big back that they have thus far used an awful lot, have the Bears. 5.5 minutes to go, and there's no score. And he sets up again in the pistol formation, this time with 3 receivers coming to the left. Sanford's 2 for 3 for 9 yards and has passed in these short yardage situations here in the first quarter. Still with time as he's kind of nervously shifting in the shotgun. Whoa, all sorts of movement.
Yeah. Well, and we've had the last 2 plays, people are resetting late, and there hasn't been any procedure calls. That one was just a little too obvious, I guess, for the refs to turn the other way on that one.
No, he's not necessarily committing an infraction, but Sanford having a hard time looking set. I wonder if that makes it a little bit more difficult for his team to read when he's ready to go.
Yeah, it's just and they're weird resets, as well. It doesn't quite look like he's. I don't know if they're getting late reads on linebackers and trying to move him to the other side or what the deal is, but.
Shifts everything, so now Jackson's on his left. He starts moving the pocket in this direction, pressured as he throws underneath through his receiver's hands as it was intended for Dabney. Kind of behind him again, not really reading the football, trying to make sure that it was going to be stopped behind the 30. I think that was Merrill.
Yeah, he took a quick peek over at that first down marker or at the defender and didn't look that ball into his hands. So
a 3-and-out provided by the Snowflake defense is going back to receive a punt. Christian Smith, Coulter Willis. Snap is had as this one, another great punt. Here is signaling fair catch and having it at the 45 was Willis. This is another week where there's a very capable punter here for the Lobos.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're getting coverage guys down right on top of the return guy, and I think, Willis saw that early coverage guy get down and called for the fair catch, but whoever that outside blocker was did a pretty good job of getting him to the ground.
First quarter, 5:14 to play, no score. Snowflake with excellent field position once again. The Lobos had it on the first drive because of an interception, then punted it into the end zone, but were able to use a procedure penalty from Bradshaw Mountain to then force the 3-and-out, now come out in their own pistol formation. Green, who has 1 carry, 4 yards behind LeDuc, who's 1 for 2 for 5.
Be interested to see if they run that read play again. And last time they had that defensive end or that outside linebacker isolated right there.
Designed run for LeDuc. He started going to the left, has to bounce it back to the right, and is brought down by his shirt tail. Gains 2.
Yeah, Bradshaw Mountain's doing a really good job kind of mucking it up right at that point of attack, and they're getting a lot of bodies right there in front of the running back.
Guy is there with the stop for the Bears. There was an awful lot of pressure from a very capable linebacker last week, a big, fast dude. And these Bradshaw Mountain Bears also big and also don't look like they're giving up much by way of speed, especially there in that front 7. Just 1 yard officially for LeDuc. 2nd down and 9, turn and give straight Green. He's running to the near side, puts his shoulder down, trying to get to the 50, but he's going to be gang tackled and forced out of bounds by about half of Bradshaw Mountain's defense.
Yeah, that's that stretch off tackle play that Snowflake's had a lot of success running this year, and Bradshaw Mountain looked pretty well prepared for it.
Jackson got there first and actually prevented him from getting to the line of scrimmage. No gain for Green. 3rd down and 9. And what seems to be a passing situation. They have not been able to, thus far, allow for LeDuc to look very comfortable on his first 2 passes. Has now taken the shotgun snap, faked the pass, or handoff, instead handed off to Willis, who's able to get down the middle of the field. He's at the 30, the 20, and there's the burst of speed into the end zone. A 54-yard comfort fit denture. Just as soon as I say it looked like LeDuc was having a little bit of a hard time getting comfortable, he was able to stand tall and untouched.
Well, and if we remember last week, they had a difficult time hitting that seam route to that tight end. They just a couple of miscommunications where he stopped on one, we overthrew, and he kept going and underthrew the other one. That time they got their communication together, and Willis came through the thing wide open, and then that little burst of speed. I didn't realize he had that, but he ran away from everybody.
Going.
Yeah,
it looked like he was probably going to have to fight his way for extra yardage through 3 tacklers, but next thing you know,
yeah, he's gone. He's 5 yards ahead of everybody.
In for the extra point is Norton. A little bit of a mishandle on the snap is going to force him to pull it left. So 6-0. Snowflake's on the board first. 3:41 to go first quarter. It's Shola Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
3rd and goal at the 3.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You pay the lowest tuition in the state. It's your hometown college that offers you 4-year degrees in education and business. Norton, who had no favors done him, I should say, with that snap, misses the point after. So the Lobos leading 6-0. Jackson is set up on the near hash here toward the visitor's sideline, and the kick is going to angle toward him, waits for it, now starts around the 2, picks up a block as he bounces it to the right side. Huge block in the back, sets it up so he gets up at the 30 and all the way out to midfield. It sure did look like Christian Smith was shoved right in the number 1 between the shoulders, but they're going to let him play through it. Brimhall eventually got here. Let's see the replay. As you watch the top of your screen, right, well, I guess we missed that. But in any event, he's going to get into Snowflake territory out to the 47.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, too. Usually you get a starting running back out returning that kick. They don't run out of bounds. I was expecting him to duck his shoulder and finish that run off.
Pistol formation. Now he moves off to the left of his quarterback in the shotgun formation, gives it and runs to the right side, but stopped right around the line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit for a yard or so, but he just ran 53 yards. Ravens there with the stop. And it was for just a little bit of a gain. Clock just over 3 minutes ago. 6-0 Snowflake with the advantage, but excellent field position here for Bradshaw Mountain. Splitting out wide to the left, Dabney. He's got single coverage in this direction. Sanford now 2 for 4 with an interception. Keeps this one, runs to his left, gets toward the 45, but spilled after another 1-yard gain.
Another good job there from that offside linebacker getting in and filling on that quarterback run. Reed's that's about his 3rd or 4th tackle already tonight, and he's doing a really good job on that. They kind of faked that ball to Jackson on the edge, and quarterback keeps it and trying to get that defense to pursue out, but did a really good job on the interior there.
2 receivers on either side. Jackson in the pistol. He's got 30 yards on 7 carries. Is right now offering some blocking help. Sanford with time goes to the far sideline, but airmails his pass. It looked like he had a man open toward that sideline, but overshot him by a wide margin.
Yeah, I don't know if they missed communication on that, but they certainly did not look in sync, or if it was just a bad throw. But it felt like Snowflake was running that zone, and they were trying to get in front of the one defender and behind the second. But
Jackson's doing the punting, as this time angling it toward Willis, takes it at the 15 and runs out of bounds at the 20. So an excellent kickoff return. Fizzles after 2 short runs and a pass that went high and wide. And now the Lobos got it right back, but with a lot of acreage in front of them.
They'll be interested here to see where they go on this. The run game's been a little stagnant early, but they've had a couple of they've had 3 or 4 good pass plays. So I'll be interested to see what Snowflake does here to adjust.
2 for 3, 59 yards, and that 54-yard score as LeDuc sets up with Willis in motion. He was the man he was able to find in the middle of the field and then watch him run free as they're going to set this up for Raven. Passes behind him, but he's able to turn and grab and then run up the near sideline close to the yard marker.
Yeah, really good adjustment on that ball. Like I said, I think it was just a little behind him, and he was able to kind of turn over the other shoulder, make that catch, and keep his momentum going forward.
He made that look so easy. Yeah. I don't think anybody appreciates the level of athleticism that he just demonstrated to catch that pirouette all in stride and then gain 9 yards.
Yeah, I think most high school kids would catch that ball with all their momentum moving away from, the line of scrimmage and basically turn that into a nothing. But
3 receivers bunched up off to the left. Short yardage here for Green, who tries to go in that direction. He's flirting with the 30. And maybe breaks the plane. And if he did so successfully, I think this is going to be a first down. Doesn't look like they're inviting anybody to move chain-wise, so perhaps no gain. Last 2 carries for Green as Estrada was there to get the stop. But Green now no yards on either of his last 2 carries. And it's 3rd down and 1 still with 95 seconds remaining here in the first. 6-0, the Lobos with the lead. 2 receivers on either side. LeDuc from the gun with Green behind him. Turns and gives, but he's met in the backfield and brought down for a loss.
Yeah, again, that interior defensive line and that inside linebacker play has been pretty good for Bradshaw to start this game tonight. So I'll be looking for LeDuc here to keep one of those reads. They look like they're crashing down on Green pretty hard.
Green now 2 yards on 4 carries as the Lobo faithful are saying go for it. Coach Reddick says gamble with your job, or at least you'd think that he's out there with LeDuc operating from the quarterback position. And now he will go back and say he wants to punt this. Moving back, Jackson standing at his 40. A little bit of pressure there, but LeDuc's able to get this and kick it away from him. Now takes a snowflake bounce at the 30 and dies at the 27.
And again, we're playing on an artificial surface here as well, and so that you're going to get some good bounces, good rolls.
Bears will take over for the third time. Is that right? Is this our fourth? Fourth. Wow, the pace of this game is phenomenal. They're going to have not bad field position here with 38 seconds to go. Have a couple of first downs, all of them coming on their first possession. Had excellent field position one try ago as the drive started in Snowflake territory, but could not take advantage of Kylan Jackson's big return. He's now out there with 30 yards on 7 carries, but an empty backfield. Sanford directing traffic with his receivers. He's actually got Jackson now off the left of the line and something of an H-back as he was going to run to the right side, turns the corner, and a flag comes out, seemingly in the vicinity of holding.
Yeah, and I'd have a question if that was a legal formation because they brought that wide out in motion and they uncovered that tackle. And so there's not an eligible receiver at the end of the line over there. And I don't think they got that. I think they got the hold penalty pretty clearly. But
does look like holding is being signaled. I think if you asked Snowflake's coaching staff, which they would prefer, they'd dial that up.
And it is a little harder to see, and maybe they do have a tight end on that side of the line of scrimmage. But there certainly wasn't an 80 or a 90 number out there making any blocks. So.
Or this day and age, a single digit
or a 6
teens.
Or a 3, I guess, yeah.
I miss the 90s.
Yeah, at least then you could tell what a kid was doing just based on the number he was wearing, right?
That holding flag moves the Bears back inside the 20. First and 20 from the 18. Clock running at 15 seconds. 6-0 Snowflake. Used a 54-yard touchdown to get on the scoreboard. That is the scoring thus far.
See, and they do the same thing here, and I don't know how they're having that tackle as the eligible receiver on the end of the right side of
Jackson
the line.
running into all of his blocking receivers, I beg your pardon, but that was another big holding flag that was easily discerned. Comes out, and it's going to be 1st and 30 after Willis was able to get the stop, but the reason why Jackson seemingly had anything to run through was because of some blocking that was not entirely legal.
Yeah, it looks like the Snowflake did a really good job. You know, they run those two guys in motion and bringing it back to this side and just trying to outnumber them out there. But defensive line linebackers do a really good job holding their ground and kind of forcing that holding penalty.
That should be the last play of the first quarter, but everybody's lined up and ready to go despite there being no time on the clock. I guess we're going to do an untimed down.
Yeah, I didn't think you did that on offensive penalties.
I didn't think so either. That
but
has been determined. Well, no, are we running a play? I mean, at this point, what's the play clock? This is taking a long time for.
Yeah, and we should be on 25 seconds, right, with the penalty that was being called.
All right, they're allowing this one to happen. Spread out wide with two receivers to the left. Single man on the near side. Turn and give, though, Jackson on 1st and 30, and he runs into the teeth of the Snowflake defense for maybe a yard or two, and that will officially be the final play of the first quarter. 6-0 Snowflake leading. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
You can't uncover tackles in high school football either, are we? No.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down!
But today, with Dr. Arnault and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
Kicking off the second quarter. When it's time to kick off your college education, you should do it at your hometown college with the lowest tuition in the state. That's Northland Pioneer College, which now offers bachelor's degree programs in education and business. After a couple of holding penalties, giving way to Jackson, who's going to try to stretch it out to the far sideline, runs through one tackle to get to the 20, but then out of bounds. Gain of 4 sets up third down and 20. Smith there with the stop. You got a big running threat with Jackson, who has shown big playability, especially on special teams. Do you play this safe and just see if he can bust one?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think you do that, or you try to take a deep shot with one of your wideouts. The quarterback's not been super accurate tonight, and so I don't think you can run a whole lot of traditional pass play where you got two receivers. He's trying to make a decision.
Got 5 receivers at the line of scrimmage, including Jackson in the slot. Sanford's 5-step drop as he surveys. Now pressured is going to be brought down for the first sack from the Snowflake front. Connor Reed again.
Well, that's just a good job with them on that, just a 4-man rush, and they dropped all the linebackers back into pass coverage as well, and they did a really good job getting to the quarterback, just the 4 of those boys up front.
Got Willis and Smith standing at the 50. Jackson gets the snap, kicks it away. It's short, angling toward the Lobos sideline, and fumbled by Willis as he now runs behind one tackler, gets over the 40, and then out of bounds. That was eventful, but no harm, no foul, and the Lobos will take over with excellent field position in the Bears' side of the field there at the 38-yard line. Snowflake leading 6-0 at this point, has not been able to get Green going as he has just run for 2 yards on 4 carries. He gained 4 yards on his first carry. Since then, 0-0 and -2. But a big play from LeDuc to Coulter Willis got the Lobos on the board. As now Green sets up in the pistol, got everybody bunched up at the line of scrimmage as LeDuc has Green wheeling out, going to throw this one instead, looking for Smith. He had Green wide open in the flat, but went for the bigger play and just missed him. Pretty good coverage there, though.
Yeah, they had the two, they had Smith and Green both running on that right side and just one defender over there, and I'm sure he was locked in on Green early on in that play.
So make it 2nd down and 10, just over 11 minutes to play here in the second. As the Lobos have not been able to muster much of a running threat, so this would seemingly put them in an obvious passing situation. Very close to the line of scrimmage are many of the Bears. This one sent out to Green, caught at the near sideline. He's over the 40, the 30, and then out of bounds at the 20. Went with the safe route, and he was able to get a big gain. Looks like it's going to be a 20-yard pass play. There's an awful lot of whistles going on, though I don't see a flag.
Yeah, they just set one at the 20.
Oh.
Or they set something down on the ground on the 20.
It does look like a flag is right at the numbers on the 20, and it doesn't look like the Lobos are feeling confident. Got Bradshaw Mountain, which is walked inside where the ball would be set, as a hold is called against Snowflake at the 20. Spot foul moves it out to the 30.
So they should still keep 2nd down here.
2nd down and 5 after the 20-yard gain. Well, it's 2nd down, not in 5. We'll call it 2nd down and 3.
Kind of like that adjustment, trying to get the ball to Green on the outside there.
LeDuc pulls it back, runs over the 30, and is close to a 1st down after a nice read there on the option. Jones there with the stop, as that will move the chains. He gained 3. Ball's on the 28. As they have that same formation, though it's now Smith bouncing out wide to the right. Turn and give Green as he moves to the left side and stays on his feet at the 25. Starting to pick up some of those yards after contact, as that time looking as if he was going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage and able to bully his way out for 5.
Did a good job bouncing that out. It looked like it was pretty tough running in the middle. He was able to bounce that out, get to the corner, and really good gain on the first down. Be interested to see here going forward if I'd like to see Leduc kind of keep one of those and try to attack that other corner.
Threatening the red zone, 2nd and 5 from the 23. Trips going out to the right side, fake the handoff. Green now throws this one over the top where Jones catches it over the 15, tackled forward to the 12, picks up 11 and a first down.
And I really like, this year it seems like Snowflake's throwing the ball over the middle a little bit more. I think that shortens those throws from the quarterback, right? That was about a 15-yard gain, but it was a pretty simple, throw and catch. So if you can get that ball in the middle of the field, it makes things a lot easier, but there's a lot more bodies in there. You got to be careful.
6-0 Snowflake leading, now just outside the 10, 1st and 10. 9 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the half as the pistol comes out with Green deep. Single man on the near side is Smith. The low snap is an awkward exchange with Green, and that's going to allow Bradshaw Mountain's defense to get to him early. That's something that has plagued Snowflake a little bit this year, and usually Leduc's athleticism is able to compensate for it, but that time these big, fast Bears on the front were able to get there.
Yeah, and Green, if you get him early before he kind of gets that head of steam up, he's much easier to tackle.
2nd down and 13. Snowflake, which won the toss and elected to defer, probably wouldn't mind burning some clock here to potentially go 2 for 1. As here's the turn and give to Green. No, it's going to instead be thrown back over to the far side and Rabin. But now instead of having any of those thoughts, looking at a difficult 3rd and 13 on a very short side of the field.
Yeah, kind of a tough throw as Rabin's running away from him, and they turn that, that little 3-yard route turns into about a 25-yard pass.
Leduc now 5 for 8, 97 yards. And he's running back, having a little bit of a tough night. 6 carries, 5 yards as Green behind Leduc again in the pistol. Got 2 receivers on either side of the line, and that includes Jones out here on the sideline. Reddick wants a timeout and will be granted one as he saw something he didn't quite like and still had all 3 to play with. Now with 2, 8:21 to go. His team leads 6-0. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Throwing this one at the goal line and jumping up and hauling it in is Smith. No, that's ruled to be incomplete. We need a replay. We got him. Christian Smith seems certain that he caught the pass. It looks as if the officials have conferred and agreed that it is incomplete. It's 4th and 13 announced as we're trying to get you a replay.
It sure looked like he controlled that ball till they got to the ground, and then it got knocked out after that. But I'd like to see the replay just to verify that.
Don't usually see Smith reacting in any way as Norton is out to attempt what is going to be a 31-yard field goal. He's missed an extra point, but that was no fault of his. Had a bad snap. As Smith is his holder, he kind of had to lunge out to get it away from him. Forced him to pull it to the left side. As now trying to make it a 9-0 game. Asked for the ball. It's high. Brought down. Kick is away. And this one is good. So 31-yard field goal is connected after it looked as if the Lobos were in the end zone. But the officials conferred and disagreed. Snowflake takes a 9-0 lead with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to play. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football at iTalk 1067 and iTalk1067.com.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
What would you buy with a $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse? You could load up for hunting, fishing, and camping. Grab a Traeger or a Pit Boss smoker, high-end Vortex optics, or top-notch boots and outdoor gear. When you get your insured windshield replaced by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, you get your choice of 2 dinners at Los Corrales and 2 movie tickets, or a $100 window tint certificate. You're entered to win the $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse. Call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint today.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff is taken at the goal line and run over the 20. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College and pay the lowest tuition in the state. You get a chance to get a bachelor's degree in business and education. As that was Kylan Jackson, who came out hot, gained 23 yards on his first 2 carries, but since then he has been held to 13 over his next 7. 36 yards. Michael Sanford has thrown 2 for 5 for 9 yards and an interception. They have not moved the chains as Bradshaw Mountain since the opening possession. Coming out now right around the 20, call it the 21, as Jackson comes out of the backfield. Instead going to throw away from him to the far sideline. It's caught over the 25, but immediately spun down by Jones. 5 yards there on the pickup, though. Nice setup here for Bradshaw Mountain.
Yeah, just an easy out route. Quarterback made a good read and got that ball out to the right. You know, the nice, quick, easy throw.
Caden Dabney there with his second catch. It's actually a gain of 6 to make it 2nd and 4. Clock running. Snowflake again won the toss, elected to defer, so hoping for a quick 3 and out and a chance to bookend here as this one thrown underneath the defense. Caught over the 30, going to have a first down after the gain of 5.
Kind of that same play, right? Just kind of run a little stop route and, ball's delivered on time. It's awfully tough to defend that.
First and 10 at the 32. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the half. 9-0 Snowflake with the advantage. Sanford with Jackson behind him. Pistol formation as now a man comes in motion left to right. Turn and give Jackson as he runs to the left of the line. Runs through a tackler, gets over the 40, and then brought down at the 42. And has 11 yards and a first down. Willis and King there.
Good tough run there. Broke that tackle right at point of contact, was able to get himself a first down.
9-0, 6:44 to go. Snowflake now kind of on its heels after a couple of completions and then a big burst there for Jackson. That's his 2nd largest run. Now with a more respectable 47 yards on 10 carries as he again sets up behind his quarterback, Sanford from the shotgun. 2 receivers on either side. Dabney on the left. Instead will go Jackson as he hesitates as he gets again through the point of contact. It looked like he was going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage, but able to fight his way out to midfield and have a gain of 7.
Yeah, good job again getting through that tackle right at the line of scrimmage. And 2nd and 4 is certainly a lot easier to deal with for them than 2nd and 10. But I think, getting those 2 short passes to start the drive is going to change the whole, momentum that Snowflake had.
Under 6 minutes to play. Man in motion, gets the call. Handed off as he turns the corner on the near side and runs over the 45 and has another first down. Ball carrier that time was Noah Heath. Bradshaw Mountain with more first downs on this drive than it had in the ball game prior. As it's moved the chains into Snowflake territory, this is the second time today that the Bears have been able to get into Snowflake territory. The first time was on a long return that ended in a 3-and-out. Kickoff return, that is. Jackson sets up behind Sanford, now splits out wide to the left. Sanford comes to the near side, and another seeming miscommunication as it looked like his receiver, his intended man, I believe, was Taggart, who was trying to break to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like they had a miscommunication between the two, but I certainly would be looking at them coming back to that play because that running back came unguarded out, behind on the left side, and I would expect them to come back to that.
2nd and 10, stops the clock at 5:23. Dabney's been the favorite target. He's out wide left, single man on the near side. Right now, Jackson in the backfield, but he moves out to the left side, and that's where they're going as he catches this one as a lateral. Another blocked in the back as no flag is thrown. Good heavens, it allows him to turn up field and wind up gaining something when it looked like he was going to potentially be stopped for nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if that guy's left his flag at home or what, but he's sure he's got a good seat. He ain't doing much else than watching, but I mean, it looked like he got him in the back, and then he grabbed on and held on as well. So
Lobos still feeling a little bit raw after it looked as if Smith was good for a touchdown on 3rd and 13. That one allows for positive yardage when it looked as if it was potentially going to be a stop in the backfield. So 3rd down and 8 rather than 3rd and potentially 13. Nobody in the backfield with Sanford as he drops back. Another big hold on the far side of the line is going to go uncalled, and it allows Sanford to complete a pass over the 30.
Yeah, they're just running that outside receiver deep, and then they run the inside one on an out route, and he's kind of got the angle from the inside linebacker, and as long as the quarterback's accurate, that's an awfully tough play to defend.
Moves it to the 29. 4.5 minutes to go. 9-0 Snowflake leading, but right now having a hard time stopping a hot Michael Sanford. He's now thrown for 30 yards, 5 of 9. He's got 2 receivers coming to the near side. Jackson's behind him in the pistol. He gets the call. Runs to the right side. Again, is able to go through the first tackler and all the way out toward the 20.
Yeah, Snowflake's got defenders in the right spot. Jackson's just doing a really good job making that first guy miss. And, again, when they're able to get into these 2nd and 3s, 2nd and 4s, it's just their offense is much more efficient than, when they're looking at 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9.
2nd and 3 with the clock approaching 4 minutes ago. This drive started on Bradshaw Mountain's 21. Move Jackson out toward the left to set up the option. Gets the pitch as now he outruns all of the Snowflake front 7. Gets toward the 15 and seems to have enough for a first down. First down, and now Snowflake will use its 2nd timeout with 3:54 to go, leading 9-0. But the Bradshaw Mountain Bears in the red zone. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. Yeah. All right, looks like we're keeping it here as the Lobos lead 9-0, but have watched as Bradshaw Mountain has taken this drive 65 yards and inside the red zone, looking at 1st and 10 right now, having a hard time stopping both Sanford and Jackson. Jackson had just 36 yards on 9 carries coming into this drive, now has 70 yards on 14, including runs of 11 and a 3 for 7. Sanford, alternatively, started the ball game with a couple of short passes. That got everything set up so that he was able to get a little bit more comfortable and kind of set the tone here as the Lobos forced to adjust here mid-series. Though right now with a 9-0 lead. So still got something to play with as running Jackson out of the backfield. They're going to throw in that direction as it was nicely defended by Smith.
Yeah, Christian did a good job getting himself in the right position. It was a pretty good throw, though, and he got it up over the top. Jackson was able to get a hand on it, but not much more than that.
2nd down and 10. That call seemingly indicating that Bradshaw Mountain is feeling a lot more comfortable with its running game, as it ought to. As they've gained an awful lot of yards, primarily with Jackson here on this series. Got it spotted at the 16 with the clock stopped at 3:49 to go. 9-0, Snowflake leading, but the Bears are threatening. Kylan Jackson is in the shotgun. Now moves off to the right side as they're going to set up the option to him. Tries to get through the first defender, but stopping it right around the line of scrimmage was Hayden Nichols.
Yeah, good job playing that option again, and they ran into some of that option last week. Did a good job with it. Looks like they made that adjustment again.
3rd and 8. A field goal is going to go an awful long way here from Bradshaw Mountain's perspective. So the Lobos trying to minimize the damage after a long drive that has lasted more than 4 minutes. Jackson sets up in the pistol. 2 receivers out wide to the left, an awful lot of space between them and the left side of that line. They've been liking to run in that direction. They fake the handoff. Now Sanford's going to tuck it as he gets to the 10 before being brought down. Fights his way out for a gain of 3, but you'd think is going to set up a potential 27-ish yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, they're down to what, the 10 or the 11. I don't see a kicker running in, but I guess a lot of I don't see a holder or anything here, so
Jackson, who does everything,
they might be running some clock here. Just if they're going to try to kick it, they may want to get that clock down to 2 minutes.
The play clock has shown 40 and nothing but. So trying to keep an eye on the back judge, who's right now standing underneath the goalpost.
My goodness, does he not?
Since we've been monitoring it, it has seemingly been about 30 seconds, but now Bradshaw Mountain walking off the field, and we'll take a timeout with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left. Didn't try to draw Snowflake off, never got to the line of scrimmage. Trailing 9-0 with the big 4th and 4 on the approach. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
This year by far. I mean, those holds are.
Field goal unit is out. 2 minutes and 6 seconds left. 4th and 4 in the second quarter. Snowflake leading 9-0, but doesn't seem as if the Lobos are certain that this is going to be a field goal attempt, though it is, and it's up and true. Field goal is good. Long drive, forced to settle for 3, makes the score 9-3 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left here in the second quarter. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football. iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
79 yards, well, I beg your pardon, 68 yards and a field goal from about 27 out makes it 9-3. Lobos now ready for the Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You'll pay the lowest tuition in the state. You could potentially pursue bachelor's degrees in education and business as Jones goes back to retrieve, but the ball is bouncing into the end zone. So with 2 minutes to go and 1 timeout to use, Snowflake has 80 yards after the Lobos looked, at least from our angle, that Christian Smith, and if you ask Smith, he would say he definitely hauled that in. Seemed as if they were potentially going to be trying for a 2-point conversion to make it a 2-score lead. Instead, had to settle for a field goal on their own right, and right now have just a 6-point advantage once again after the teams exchange field goals. They've had a hard time getting Green going as he has 5 yards on 6 carries. He sets up in the pistol with 3 receivers right off the line on the right. Drop back with LeDuc as he's pressured, wants to set up a screen. Gets it to Green with some room as he has to try to make one man miss but cannot do so. As initially there with the stop for Bradshaw Mountain, I believe, was Dallas Hernandez.
Yeah, really
no
good.
correction, that was not Dallas Hernandez. With the great open field stop is Witowski.
Yeah, really good job coming up and filling and keeping that to a short gain.
Second catch for Green, as this time looking to the near side. Throw this one where it's a wide open Rabin, now having to try to play defense, but it looks like instead it's intercepted at the 45. It was. Ball hung up a little bit and allowed.
Yeah, it looks like he was.
Antonio Valenzuela there with the interception.
Yeah, they had Rabin early on that kind of that wheel route, and just that ball hung up a little bit, like you said.
So after Bradshaw Mountain just marched to set up the field goal, the Lobos gamble on 2nd down and 5, and are forced to try to get the defense back out there with a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for here? Stoutness.
Yeah.
They were getting run through by Jackson at the point of attack, as he's not going to be in the backfield, at least initially. They got 5 receivers at the line, 3 of them out wide to the left, including Jackson. Sanford with an empty backfield, thrown for now 30 yards, going to come to the near side, goes underneath as the Lobos were trying to keep everybody in front. Ball's caught there.
Well, they kept him in bounds. The official ruled but it stopped his forward momentum, so they kept the clock moving on that.
Desmond Tolbert there with the catch.
It's a good job by Christian coming up, making that, keeping everything in front, coming up, making the tackle.
2nd down and 3 after the 7-yard gain. This time with Jackson in the backfield. Not going to get the call. Going to run to the near side and out of bounds. Nichols there with the stop. You got to hold your breath there as they were all kind of colliding right around the sideline.
Yeah, it looks like he got him before he got out of bounds. Close. Right on the white, right? But
loss a yard, moves it back behind the 50. 50 seconds left, 9-3 Snowflake leading. And needing to pick up a 3rd and a long 4 stop.
yeah, it looks like they're having a little bit of trouble getting this play call in, and
still no countdown as they're at the line of scrimmage. Empty backfield again for Sanford. Drops back, looks to the left, it's deflected at the line.
yeah, it looked like that was Ziggy that got through there.
So that should surely bring the punter out, which is Jackson. Taking a look at the replay. Ulbrich there got the big hand on, the big freshman hand on it. Jackson is the punter. Right now, 2 potential return men back for the Lobos as this one's angling toward Willis. Will take it at the 10. Take it a run on the right side, looking for some blocking help as he's trying to turn the corner, gets to the 20. Now he's going to reverse field to get to the 25, still on his feet at the 30, and might have been one man away.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to pop out of there on that backside, and they just tripped him up right there at the end of that run.
30 seconds left, deep in their own territory, leading 9-3, and are going to receive the kick to start the second half. What do you do?
Yeah, I would expect them to be fairly conservative here, especially with the ball coming out. You may give Green a shot, maybe see if he can break something, but I would be surprised if they do anything more than that.
Green has thus far not had an awful lot of space to try to run through. Just 5 yards on 6 carries as he now moves off to the right side of the line. Empty backfield for LeDuc. They're going to run a passing play here as he's pressured. Runs away from the pressure as he goes to the 30. Turns it up into 35. Stays in bounds at the 40. And a long play is now going to force Snowflake to use its final timeout with 19 seconds left, but he didn't stay in bounds and get the first.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got the first by. I mean, they're setting that ball a yard beyond the marker, so I don't know what the chains are doing.
Okay.
But I wonder if that impacted the Snowflake coaches calling the timeout there, because the clock should stop, right? If they had the first down, but at least till the chains get reset, and they still ain't been set. That would have been a long time out for them.
No, the official and the chains on the Snowflake sideline both seemed as if they were ready to mark that about 2 yards short, which I don't know if that might have okey-doked Snowflake sideline into using that timeout. It also kind of looked from our vantage point that LeDuc was definitely tackled out of bounds, but not so, as he gains 11 on that one, now 13 yards on 2 carries. This time with Green behind him in the pistol. 4 receivers with 3 coming to the left. Whistle is blown. LeDuc from the gun. Short drop. Comes to the near side. Caught by Smith at the 40. Looking for some blockers as he gets to the 50 and runs out of bounds at the 45 of Bradshaw Mountain. 12 seconds left for the Lobos.
You know, they get 1 or 2 more of those at 6-7 seconds a pop, and they could get in field goal range. It looked like Norton's got a pretty good leg tonight.
Just having a little bit of a hard time with the snap, though.
Yeah, if they get this ball down and inside the 30, I think they might have a real shot at a field goal attempt.
Bears, like the Lobos, playing pretty conservatively in the secondary, so it's given LeDuc an opportunity to throw underneath. He's been able to take advantage first with the feet and then with the pass. Invert the formation as they got 3 receivers going to the right side again with pressure as this one's thrown out to Jones, but he is going to be tackled in bounds.
Yeah,
and it didn't look like they're going to say that he had picked up the first down. Very nonchalant.
And that's poor officiating, because they never spotted the ball on the catch, and it was right at the first down marker. Like, I understand why Coach Reddick is really frustrated right now, because they're right at that first down marker where the official finally spotted the ball, but he spotted it maybe 6 seconds after the whistle had blown. So,
well, the Lobos go into the locker room with a 9-3 lead, and with a couple of opportunities perhaps denied them, and a couple they denied themselves, still going to receive the kick after the half, leading 9-3, as we'll start the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show on the other end of this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
Halftime here. It's the Northland Pioneer College kickoff for the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear. Go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store, north of Pine Top on Highway 260. Just before you get to the Honda Casino, we will continue the conversation after a 4-minute break. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
What would you?
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show for the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear. Go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260. Just before you get to the Honda Casino, the Lobos have a 9-3 lead, and this is opening all sorts of interesting potential conversation points as the Lobos were able to run roughshod over a much bigger team against ALA West Foothills in last week, but it seemingly would have indicated that that was the biggest and fastest team that I was expecting them to play. But Bradshaw Mountain right now playing bigger and faster, especially up front. What's your takeaway here after the first half along those lines?
Yeah, it feels like the offense and defensive lines are kind of a stalemate, right? Like last week we won the battles in the trenches, I think, significantly, and today it feels much more even. And I think that probably speaks to the aggression up front from the Bradshaw Mountain players as well. And again, I'm sure that there was a lot of excitement to play that game in ALA last week, being the first home game, all of that type of stuff with it. So, Snowflake may be a little flat coming out tonight as well. So.
You did have the Lobos seemingly struggle at times with pressure, though it was difficult to tell if that was schematic or just because the Guardians had a very talented linebacker that they were running after him. What are you seeing as far as the especially crowding of the line that Bradshaw Mountain is doing tonight, and how is that influencing Snowflake's front?
Yeah, and I think so. You're just not seeing Brenner Green get any type of momentum going. It feels like there's 2 and 3 bodies all the time, keeping what we would say that gap control up in the front. So. They're doing a really good job kind of giving him nowhere to go. And I don't know it doesn't feel like they're bringing a whole lot of pressure upfield. They're just kind of controlling it at the line of scrimmage and taking those running lanes away. And then they're making the tackles when they get a body on him as well. So
on the other side of it, Snowflake seemingly was dominant on the defensive end, only giving up 2 first downs on the first sequence, and I think that was it for Bradshaw Mountain going into the scoring drive, where they were able to march almost 70 yards, and we're looking at an and-goal situation if they could have picked up another first down. Do you think that last drive is more indicative of what's going to happen in the second half, or did the Lobos have the adjustment?
Yeah, hopefully they seem to have found something over on that offensive left side over there, whether they found a mismatch on the offensive defensive lines, or they just found the official who won't throw his flag on those holds. Not to be a complainer, but they found something over on that left edge that they took advantage of. So it's probably something schematic. I would think that the Snowflake coaches have been really good making adjustments. I'd expect them to come out and get something to take care of that.
This is the Northland. No, I beg your pardon. This is the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260 just before you get to the Honda Casino. We'll continue after this as Snowflake leads 9-3 at halftime. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
Halftime here at Bradshaw Mountain High School, where the Lobos lead the Bears 9-3. It's the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store halftime show. For the best selection of hiking, camping, hunting, and fishing gear, go to the Honda Ski and Outdoor Store north of Pine Top on Highway 260. Just before you get to the Honda Casino, Jacob LeDuc right now leading Snowflake, 7 of 12 for 116 yards. I've given them all 18 yards that were gained on a pass to Green, where they lost a bunch of them due to a hold that wound up costing them about 13 of the yards there. But still with 116 yards, 7 of 12 while getting very little from the ground game. He has run for 13 on 2 carries. Green has run for 5 yards on 6, as his favorite targets thus far have been Green. He's caught 2 passes for 23 yards. Rabin has 2 for 14, but a 54-yard strike to Coulter Willis got the scoring started for the Lobos. Also connected with Gian Jones for 11 and Christian Smith for 14. As the numbers there scant, but what do you see that has thus far been effective for the Lobos, and how do you see it transitioning to the second half?
Well, they've been throwing the ball. I think this is their best passing output that they've had all season, and so I don't know if that's more a factor of if they made an emphasis on it this week or if it's just kind of taken what the defense has been giving them. I know Bradshaw Mountain's been pretty tough up front. Just knowing Snowflake, the coaching staff, I would be absolutely shocked if they didn't come out and try to establish the run game again and try to get Green a couple of big chunk runs early on to just kind of reestablish their identity. But if, they stay if Bradshaw Mountain defensively stays pretty tough, I think they found something kind of over the middle in those seam routes as well that they may go back to that.
For the Bears, Michael Sanford has gone 8 for 12. 6 for 12 for 37 yards. Most of those coming on that field goal drive for Bradshaw. And then you have Kylan Jackson, who has rushed for 72 yards on 15 carries, as he was starting to get some pretty big chunks in the second, or toward the end of the second half. He's big, he's fast, and the Lobos have been meeting him at the line of scrimmage for the most part. Outside of one big run in the first series, they've been able to bring him down, but as the half wore on, they were having a little bit of a harder time bringing him down after he was met at the line of scrimmage. So that seems as if that's going to be the biggest thing to watch here on the first defensive sequence for the Snowflake Lobos, as they try to make sure that he is not going to get too comfortable. Otherwise, not a lot to talk about for Bradshaw Mountain either. There hasn't been a lot of scoring. It's been a pitcher's duel here at Bradshaw Mountain High School, 9-3 Snowflake leading the Bears. We'll have the second half for you after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
What would you buy with a $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse? You could load up for hunting, fishing, and camping. Grab a Traeger or a Pit Boss smoker, high-end Vortex optics, or top-notch boots and outdoor gear. When you get your insured windshield replaced by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, you get your choice of 2 dinners at Los Corrales and 2 movie tickets, or a $100 window tint certificate. You're entered to win the $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse. Call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint today.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
Outside that big run, I think defensively that run's been pretty good.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Ready to start the third quarter. Snowflake won the toss and elected to defer, but Brogan, you were just saying off air that you suspect that this might be a good time for an onside kick.
Well,
is that a lot of that dependent upon the confidence in the kicker, which I believe that most of the kicking duties has been done by Kylan Jackson.
Yeah, I think that in my mind, if they got a kid who can do it, it feels like it's a good time momentum-wise and things like that. That may just be me because I might be a little more risk-adverse or less risk-adverse than a lot of folks. But it just feels like they had all that momentum at the end of the half, and Snowflake's going to half trying to regroup, and you got a chance maybe here to take him by surprise. So
this is Titus Womble that is actually doing the kicking duties. He's got two Lobos inside the 10, Willis and Smith moving left to right away from the Snowflake sideline, as this is the Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. Pay the lowest tuition in the state, as this one's going to go into the end zone and will be a touchback.
Yeah, high school, it's automatic. When the ball crosses the goal line, it's an automatic touchback, regardless if the receiver wants to bring it out or not. That kid's got a pretty good leg, though.
Yeah.
Maybe heck with that. Just kick that thing in the end zone and off you go.
So here comes the Lobo offense as Leduc trots off the sideline with Rabin. He's been hot from the quarterbacking position with 116 yards, but the Lobos have only gained 18 on the ground, which is something that you don't hear an awful lot of. Green with just 5 as he's now operating out of the pistol. Gian Jones split wide left in single coverage, being crowded at the line. A little bit of pressure showing off that side of the line as they're going to still throw this through that one as Jones has run out of bounds. Nicely defended there as it was a wide open run at the quarterback there off the top or the right side of the defensive line.
Yeah, they just missed that by a step. Jones did make that catch, but that throw kind of took him out. It drew him out of bounds, and he tried to get that foot down, but it was just probably a half yard into the white. But
Great
I like
job there by Leduc to stand tall against that pressure.
And I like the play call, especially up with that pressure on that. It's
fake the handoff to Green. Leduc carries this one over the right side of the line, tries to get to the 25, but he's getting tackled and forced out of bounds.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to get to that in the first half because they got such a it looked like they were really crashing in on a Green. And so I was interested to see when they were going to run that quarterback keep on that.
Third down and 6 as the Lobos in danger of giving the ball right back after an interception ended their last real scoring chance in the second quarter. They tried to move the football and looked as if they were potentially giving themselves an opportunity to at least throw it in the end zone, but ball was spotted late, and they couldn't get to the line of scrimmage or really weren't given a chance. As now they'll come out with 4 receivers with 3 coming out wide left. Willis goes in motion to the right side, making it 2 on either side from the shotgun. Pressure being shown again from the right of the defensive line. And now this time Leduc is brought back. Somehow has this ball wind up with Green, but he's going to run back to the 10 and get brought down for a big loss. I think that might have been a fumble.
No, I think Leduc got it out and did throw it, and Green caught it. It just maybe a little ill-advised.
So the pass is complete for a loss of 20.
Again, that defensive line is playing very well for Bradshaw Mountain, and they had a little combo right on here on the left side. Looked like it was going to come open, and there's too much pressure though before we could get that ball off.
Leduc starts in the quarterback position, now switches places with Green. We got movement on the right side of the line. Oh, yep, that is the right side. There's 2 players that hopped up. Lobos all out of sorts here coming out of the locker room. Still leading 9-3, but you got the dangerous Jackson, who's now going to move all the way up to the Snowflake 25, starts moving back to the 30. Leduc never needs much space to get rid of one, so it's not too uncomfortable for him as he has to go up and get it. Kicks this one away as it bounces at the 35 and then rolls out of bounds at the 42. But excellent field position here for the Bears, trailing just 9-3.
I think that's exactly the start the Bears wanted here for the half.
Michael Sanford comes off the sideline, 6 for 12. 37 yards. Kylan Jackson, 72 yards, 15 carries. Snowflake's defense waiting for him as they're looking now to try to make some plays and get some momentum back after the offense goes 3 and out with a big 20-yard loss on 3rd down and 5. So it seems right now that old Uncle Mo is wearing black, as now a bunch of movement behind the line, sends 3 receivers from the left to the right. Jackson moves to the left side. He's going to come back and run this one to the right. And a shoestring tackle going to prevent him from getting into the second level.
Yeah, good job there by Hayden Nichols coming up through. And that time, the first half, he'd been able to run through a couple of those. But that time, Hayden was able to get him down to the ground. So
no gain.
That's
second down and 10. As, again, Bradshaw Mountain feels like it's getting a lot of time of getting these plays off the sideline. Clock ticking toward 9 minutes remaining in the third. Play clocks aren't moving, so we're just kind of playing guesswork, but the back judge has not once yet started counting anything. As Jackson moves to the left of his quarterback again, fakes the handoff. Want to throw this one back to him on a screen, but it was blown up. Throw this one away. Nice job there by Sanford.
How's that not? That's got to be an intentional grounding. There's no receiver anywhere close to that.
I think Taggart was in the neighborhood. That might be all it needs.
And they're blocking downfield. I don't know. I know that's what Coach Reddick was asking for, and the ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage on that. But it really looked like a little bit of disconnect there with the offense. They faked the handoff, and I don't know if that who was running back on that play. But he went into block, and it looked like the quarterback was trying to deliver a screen pass to him. But
3rd down and 10. Excellent field position to start, but now needing a play on 3rd and long. As Sanford on the move throws this one underneath. It's caught at the 35. Hayden Nichols there with the stop, but it looks like it's going to be – no, they're moving the chains.
Whoa.
All righty. So the previous yard marker was the 42. The ball's on the 33. Help me with the math. That's a first down, though. As the Lobos are again potentially victimized here, as Jackson gets the call, runs over the left side, runs through a couple of tacklers, eventually brought down by Smith, but he was taking him for a ride. I need an explanation here how the ball is spotted at the 42, makes it to the 33, and is a first down.
Well, and they got the chains moving before the ball's set, and so I don't know what. I know that these side judges are trying to keep those chains moving to keep the game flowing and things like that, but you'd sure like them to make sure that was a first down before they move the chains.
Trips to the right side. Bradshaw Mountain trying to take a lead, trailing 9-3. Fake the hand. No, Jackson does get the call. Now a flag comes out from the back judge. No gain on the play, but what?
Who knows what this dude's calling?
What penalties does the back judge throw on a run that is stopped for no gain?
Yeah, I mean, usually he's got to count defensive players, and then he should be unless they get a defensive hold or something like that. But
all right.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, it looks like the illegal substitution, 12 men. Yeah, there's 12 still out there. No, there's 11. Wait a minute. Yeah, there's 11 out there. I didn't see anybody run off the field either.
I did not either. So Lobos now facing 1st down and 5 after stopping Jackson for no gain. Going to see him in the pistol formation with, again, receivers on either side. Sanford fakes the handoff, short drop, looking to the near side, to the corner where it's going to be elevated and caught out of bounds, incomplete.
Oh, my, that's a good catch, though. Really nice play. Yeah, really nice play. And Rabin's on him tight, and he goes up and gets that thing high point. Oh, yeah, they may have missed that one, too. It sure looked like he got that leg down. Looked like that leg drug across the into the red a little bit, but a heck of a play by that wideout to go.
It's 2nd and 10 on both the scoreboard and the chains. Is that an automatic 1st down with 12 defensive players out there?
No, it should just be a 5-yard penalty.
All right, here comes a give to Jackson. Accelerates at the right side, runs to the 10, and gains 3, maybe 4. 3rd down and 6 from the 7. So is that a warning? Did they warn him?
No, it should be a 5-yard penalty, and it's probably supposed to be a dead ball penalty at the snap of the ball, but I don't know in high school if they let him run the play or not. But it should have been 5-yard penalty in 1st and 5 or whatever the I can't remember what the down and distance was prior to that play, but.
Pistol formation again with Jackson, who's now rushed for 86. Gets the call, but forced to come to the outside to the right where he's tripped up there by Rabin. 6.5 minutes to go. A loss of 2 makes it 4th down and 6. This would seemingly be an opportunity to make it a 3-point game, as we've seen a really good leg there from Titus Womble.
Yeah, he's not going to miss it short, that's for sure.
Snowflake again spread out pretty wide as it's going to be held at the 15, so make it a 25-yard kick. The pressure is there, but it's up and good.
That's a nice ball.
9-6 after a short field is converted into a 3-point opportunity. Snowflake with the lead with 6 minutes and 4 seconds to go in the 3rd. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at sholoford.com.
So we had the tight end was.
9-6, Snowflake with the lead, now receiving its 2nd Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You'll pay the lowest tuition in the state. And you can potentially get 4-year degrees in education and business. As there's another touchback, the Lobos were going backwards on their only possession here in the 3rd quarter. Lots of pressure, especially coming off the right side of the defensive front for the Bears. As right now lining up in that neck of the woods looks to be Diego Gaius. As he's right now down in front of the left side of Snowflake's line. Fake the handoff, set up a wide receiver screen. Low pass had by Smith, but he's got some blocking help as he runs over the 30. Now he's on the near sideline at the 40. A flag comes out late as he's at the 50, but this seems as if it's going to come back. Snowflake fans are furious because it has seemed as if there have been a lot of holds, especially on the left side of Bradshaw Mountain's line, that have gone ignored. And this time the flag setting at the 35 would seemingly make it 1st and 5. And there is the official announcement. So move it back 10 yards from the 35 to the Lobo 25. 1st and 5, negating a 30-yard pass play.
Well, you like the play call. The design is good, and they got those blocks, and Smith was able to split that thing, and and with his speed, he's able to turn that thing into a pretty good gain. It's just unfortunate with that holding call.
1st and 5 official. From the pistol, Green gets the call, forced to immediately try to make a man miss, and he's going to be brought down close to the original line of scrimmage. Loss of 3, now just 2 yards on the day for Green.
And again, the defensive front from Bradshaw Mountain's playing consistently 2 and 3 yards, deep in the Snowflake backfield.
This is starting to inspire one question. Of course, we don't know what was going on as far as personnel, but Arcadia won here in week 1 with relative ease. As here's trips coming out to the right side. Gian Jones, the lone man on the left, 2nd down and long. This time pressure is going to be picked up, thrown underneath there. A juggling catch from Smith as he's able to haul that one in at the 36-yard line. Pick up a 14 and a 1st down.
Yeah, Arcadia was able to throw the ball pretty well and had some success early in that game throwing the football. So, it might Snowflake may have to lean on that pass game a little bit more here in the second half and run some shorter routes so Leduc can get the ball out of his hands before that pass rush gets there.
Lobos lead 9-6, scored on a 54-yard pass play between Leduc and Coulter Willis. And it was like you were just saying, there was something that was going to go underneath and just allowed his foot speed to get there. Now there's the first big run for Green as he was met at the line of scrimmage, but able to keep his shoulders square and start rumbling for a 10-yard gain and another Snowflake 1st down.
Yeah, much better job on the interior there by the offensive line. They were able to open that seam, and Green was able to get ahead of steam finally and do some damage after he got through that line of scrimmage.
After having the 1st down play called back, it looked like it was kind of a here we go again situation for the Lobos, but now moving the chains twice. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Just what the doctor ordered for Snowflake as they come out with the same formation with 3 receivers coming to the near side. Fake the handoff, Green, throw this one underneath. Rabin again has to turn and pick it up from behind, but he's able to hold on to it and pick up 7 yards into Bradshaw Mountain territory.
Yeah, again, just you got the 2 wide receivers out here, and Smith runs deep and runs those inside guys just 2 or 3 steps deeper, and Rabin's able to just do a little in route underneath, and ball's delivered on time, and Rabin with a pretty good catch.
Both sides perhaps feeling as if they've had to settle for field goals of late. The Lobos in Bear territory. Fumbled snap, and Leduc picked it up with his knees down, so he loses 5 yards and will make it 3rd down and long.
Yeah, I don't know if he got his just took his eyes off the ball looking up the field a little bit or what happened there. I know that snap was a little low, but I'm sure Jacob probably feels like he should be able to field that thing.
In fairness, he has been under duress for a lot of this, so he might have been looking to make sure that he was going to have a beat. 3rd down and 7 as Green, who just had his best run of the night, sets up in the pistol. 3 receivers right off the right side of the line. They're going to throw for this one as Leduc gets this one underneath, and it was again an attempted juggling catch at the line of scrimmage from Smith.
Well, and I wonder if they'll catch that, and they'll look at that running back coming out the opposite way. Green looked like that he kind of lost the defenders, so they run Smith across the field on that shallow route, and I'm sure they're hoping he can get the ball in some open field and use his quickness to break that thing off, and then they run Green out behind him, and I think they may have some success, so they'll come back to that, I think.
4th and 7. Leduc right now lined up to play quarterback. Hard snap, taking a look at his sideline. And now we'll exchange places with Green. Back to seemingly punt. Jackson's expecting it as he's walking back inside his 20. Snap is had. No, they're going to run a pass play as this one's thrown right at the sticks. And Jones, it's all going to depend upon the spot. He's marked 2 yards back of where he caught the pass. Maybe we can see that replay one more time. He may have been short regardless, but the official who was spotting the football didn't seem to grant him any forward progress.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see here because I got blocked by the our sideline, and it's hard to kind of get a gauge where that is. It's getting to the point though where it feels like one big play here is going to flip the momentum of this game.
Looked as if perhaps Snowflake might have picked it up, but here come the Bears now, moving players behind the line of scrimmage left to right to have three receivers right on the near side. They like to run the option out of this. No, they're going to come back front the left to right run. It's Jackson running over the 45, gains 4. That play was spotted well, coincidentally.
Well, and I'm wondering here too, because they're shifting and then resetting, and they got to get set for a full second before they're snapping the ball, and they're getting awfully quick coming out of that thing, and I'll be interested to see if that's by design, if they're trying to shift, quick last minute and take advantage of some defensive movement, or what's going on with that.
2 minutes, 22 seconds left here in the third. 9-6. Snowflake gambled on fourth down and came a yard or two short, we'll call it. Is now an empty backfield for Sanford. He's rushed for -3 yards, but he's instead going to hand this off to a man in motion who's able to get toward the 50, gains 1. 3rd down and 6 after Connor Reed has another stop. We've called his name a lot.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job flowing to the football tonight.
On that run there was Gilpin. 3rd down and 5 coming up here. A big play after the Lobos tried to go for it. And were able to complete the pass to Jones, but could not move the chains. Now, can they stop Jackson as he lines up and he's going to wheel out to the near side, instead throw underneath where it's completed at the 40.
Like the 46.
46, but they're going to move it back. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
This is something. I tell you, last time, or the first time I should say, that Snowflake played at Bradshaw Mountain, the officials sent a scathing remark back after watching the broadcast, but there has just been some really interesting spots, including the last two that were determining first downs.
Well, and I'm not seeing the white hat give the first down mark either. And maybe he did, and I just missed that. So it's not.
Oh, a fumbled snap is going to be brought down by Jackson. Now, he falls on it at the 48 in Bradshaw Mountain territory. As God knows where they're going to put it. Looks like it will be the 48.
But one of those first down marks that white hat is supposed to look and decide. It's not necessarily up to this side judge to make the decision if it's a first down or not. But typically that's the way it works.
30 seconds left in the third. And boy, this has turned into an edge-of-your-seat situation. 9-6, Snowflake leading. 2nd down and 16. Just outside midfield in Bradshaw Mountain territory. Again, coming in motion, handed off to Gilpin. Actually, this is going to be Sanford who keeps that one and runs for a couple of yards back to midfield.
Well, we'll have a big 3rd down coming out of the break here, out of the quarter, about 3rd and 15. So possessions are going to get real tight now.
That's the end of the third, with the Lobos clinging to a 9-6 lead, 1 to play. 3rd and 14 after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
We went for a 4th and 3rd on the 11.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
3rd down and 14. Final 12 minutes to go in the ball game. 9-6. Bradshaw Mountain has scored the last 6, having to go for 2 field goals. It's now an empty backfield. Sanford, given time, throws underneath, caught over the 40, and now run to the 32. He needed 14 yards, got 16, and picked up a 1st down.
Yeah, just coming through on that cross route, deep cross on that against the zone, and they had a couple of guys running a little deeper, kept them safeties back. He was able to get behind that first level and in front of that second level. It's a pretty good play design.
Since the last possession in the second quarter, the Lobos have been allowing an awful lot of yards between the 20s, but have thus far been stout inside the 20s. This one's thrown toward the sideline, caught at the 25, gain of 5. But it's a situation where they're bending and not breaking. Again, between the 20s, once Bradshaw Mountain gets into the red zone, the Bears have not been able to punctuate.
But I feel like both teams are kind of running that way offensively. They can move the ball a little bit, 4 or 5 yards here and there, but one negative play seems to take all the knocks all the drives out. So, if the defense can come up with a negative play here.
Well, they did on that fumbled snap, just couldn't capitalize. As credit Bradshaw Mountain as the handoff goes Jackson, trying to run this one along to the right side, but eventually brought down, I believe, in the backfield. Actually brought down with forward progress for a 1-yard gain. So 3rd down and 2. As it stands, it would be about a 45-yard field goal attempt. But it might be a couple of opportunities for big Kylan Jackson, who's right now with 89 yards on 21 carries. They've not been going to him much in the second half. And on 3rd and short, they will do so as he is able to get a hole over the right side of the line. Needed 2 yards. Looked like he picked up, well, something.
Yeah, and they did a really good job at point of attack there, and he did a good job making 2 guys miss. And, when you're in those short yardage situations, just got to get moving forward and fall forward, and good things will happen for you usually.
I think he wound up picking up 20. 5 yards to the 20. I beg your pardon. 9:52 to go. 9-6. Snowflake leading, but now in the red zone are the Bradshaw Mountain Bears. They've scored the last 6, but have to settle for 2 field goals after long drives. Putting a man in motion right to left. Jackson's back in the pistol. Gets the call. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a gain of 2. So we've seen that they are definitely well within Titus Womble's field goal range.
Yeah, I think he might be the best kicker we've seen this year so far at just leg strength. And, he's not kicking the ball about 5 yards deep in the end zone on kickoffs, and he's been impressive all night.
His last attempt, though we're still a couple of plays away from having to really consider this, the Lobos were able to get a little bit of pressure on him, but right now just trying to bring that unit out. 9 minutes to go. Have moved the chains here and are facing 2nd down and 8. Lots of time for Sanford as he throws underneath, and a diving effort from Willis. Can't get underneath that one, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that ball looked like he just didn't quite get it. That ball came out a little wobbly and a couple yards short from where the receiver was. Pretty good job by Willis to kind of cut under that thing.
3rd down and 8. Out of the timeout between the quarters, Bradshaw Mountain was able to convert on 3rd and 14, but again, that was well outside of the red zone.
This will be a big play here for the defense.
Move, all sorts of activity off to the right side. Reverse set up now as they're going to throw this one with a wide open man at the line or the end zone. He's caught for a touchdown. I believe that was Jackson there with the score.
Yeah, pretty good job there with that reverse to take advantage of, the aggressiveness as you can see Jones come up there, on that.
Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown is an 18-yard reverse option to throw, and Jackson with his left hand able to get that converted, and an extra point is going to be attempted.
Yeah, and a good job there, too, is a lot of times on that you'll see offensive linemen downfield, but they blocked that thing pretty well, and I took a quick look and didn't see anybody. But
Extra points. Good. 13-9. Bradshaw Mountain with the lead. The Lobos offense now comes out trailing from behind for the first time since Coconino. 8:43 to go. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You'll pay the lowest tuition in the state. Also could pursue a 4-year degree in education or business at your hometown college. As this one kicked short, going to go out of bounds. So Snowflake there will be able to have a short field trailing 13-9. The Lobos had a 54-yard pitch and catch between Leduc and Willis. Have had a hard time getting Green going. His last carry went for 10 yards, but he only has 12 on 8 carries. Leduc thrown for now 117 yards, going 10 for 17. But those numbers dragged down a bit because of a 20-yard loss on a completion while he was being sacked. So they get to move this one out to the 35. They got 8:43 to go, 3 timeouts, as this is the sort of situation where you could play for a couple of possessions and a couple of field goals, trailing just 4. As they go with Green, going to the left side, goes over the 40 and brought down at the 42 for a gain of 7.
Yeah, and this is usually where that Snowflake running game is able to start making an impact on the football game. And so that was a nice start to the drive here. They get themselves in a second and short situation.
Driving Queen there with the stop as the Bradshaw Mountain crowd, sideline, everybody is all fired up. 2nd down and 4 for the Lobos, as this time it's a designed run for Leduc. Goes right into the teeth of the defense, bounces out to the left side. He's still on his feet at the 50 after it looked like he was stopped for no gain. Instead is going to go into Bradshaw Mountain territory for a gain of 10.
A really tough run there by Leduc, as it looked like they had him stopped right on the inside, but he was able to break a couple of tackles in there, and again, he just keeps his legs moving, you know, on every run. And
a lineman, I think that's Cannon Nicholas, the center, who's hobbling off the sideline. We'll keep an eye on him. A potential Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report coming. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. Snap with the new center is still good as it's given to Green as he runs to the 45, gains 4.
Yeah, it's kind of a precarious situation here to be hoping, you know, with a new center, but I'm sure they run some reps in practice and things like that. But again, it's, you know, they got the makings here of a good drive. They're going to want to make sure to get this thing in the end zone.
7:20 to go, 13-9. Bradshaw Mountain scores on a reverse and option to pass that Jackson was able to complete. Now trailing the Lobos in Bradshaw Mountain territory. Fake the handoff. Green, come out to the near side where it's had by Rabin at the 45. Over the 40, brought down with a high tackle at the 33. Gain of 13 and move the chains again, Snowflake.
Yeah, really good job there. They've been running the ball pretty well the last 3 plays, so to fake that run and get that on that little kind of dart route there by that tight end and able to get him the ball quick, and you know, Rabin was able to pick up an extra 10, 12 yards.
130 yards now for Leduc. 34 yards on 4 catches for Rabin. As Green on Leduc's left gets the call, met in the backfield, steps to the right, still on his feet as he gets over the line of scrimmage for a gain of 1.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job of team tackling, right? There's 5, 6 black hats around the football there.
Wachowski there with the stop. I'm going to say that was for no gain. 2nd and 10. 6 minutes and 35 seconds. The clock ticking, and the way that neither side has been able to really stop the other between the 20s. It's making the situation on the clock becoming a greater and greater factor. Neither side has called a timeout yet. As a shotgun snap, fake the handoff, going to throw this one toward the flat where it looked like Willis might have had a step, but the pass was a little bit too far in front.
Yeah, it looked, he made the right read there, and looks like that ball just threw it just a step up field.
3rd down and 10 at the Bradshaw Mountain 33. Yards have been hard to come by. It's hard to say what maybe Snowflake's just trying to get half of these at this point. Lobos would probably be happy if they're able to get any amount of yardage. There's been an awful lot of plays for very little gain or loss. High snap brought down, pressure. Now throw this one. A wide receiver screen caught by Jones as he is brought down by a horse collar. There's a flag down, and now all sorts of pushing and shoving. The flag is back at the 41. This is surely going to be a personal foul.
Yeah, it's going to be a pass interference that Willis was blocking before that pass was caught. So the original flag is going to be offensive pass interference call.
I don't see any other flags.
Yeah, it's about right for tonight. But they're talking that out because that pass was caught behind the line of scrimmage, though. In high school, I don't know if the rules differ, but you're allowed to block at the other levels as long as the pass is thrown behind the line of scrimmage as it was here.
What about the high tackle, though? That's the second time on this drive.
Yeah, you still have the horse collar tackles, and you still have anything up around the face mask, even if you grab on the inside. Oh, they did. So they must have got that as being behind the line of scrimmage.
So they're picking up the flag to say that there was no blocking infraction, but the Snowflake fans are upset because it sure looked as if Gian Jones was being tackled illegally. And now Snowflake will call a timeout with 5:59 left, trailing 13-9 and facing 4th and 5. The only thing I could think is that he was tackled by the shirt, not necessarily getting the hand inside the shoulder pad, but it looked as if he potentially was tackled by the face mask at one point as well.
Yeah, and I don't know, too, coming from behind or in front, on the side, I think that makes a little bit of a difference with it as well. But, I mean, clearly, though, there was significant amount of extracurriculars, a couple late hit, a punch thrown. Like, I am absolutely shocked there's not, there wasn't every official didn't empty their pockets on that one. But, I mean, I guess we got a football game, so might as well just let them go at this point, right? We haven't not been a whole lot of flags anyway, so might as well finish the game that way.
Keep an eye on Christian Smith here, wide to the right at the bottom of your screen. They've been going in his direction while trying to gain some of these 5-yard needs, just getting it to him outside wide. Got Green back in the pistol, 4th and 5 for the Lobos as LeDuc's going to move in this direction, try to throw it back, looking for some blocking help with Green as he catches this one over the 25 to the 20. He's at the far sideline at the 10. He's at the 5. He's in the end zone for the score.
Yeah,
a Comfort Fit Dentures touchdown from 28 yards out, and there are no flags.
Yeah, we've been seeing that all night, and I was wondering when they were going to go to that. They've been rolling out, kind of running Green away from the play, and it's been open a few times tonight, but that time was a screen that they'd set up, and so they got some offensive line there out in front and blocked, and I think he relatively went in the end zone untouched there. Really great play call.
15-13, 5:47 to go.
It's a big extra point with as good a kicker as Womble is here, right? They want to make sure they get up by 3 or 4.
They've missed an extra point already.
Spent a long time in that huddle.
Christian Smith going to hold now. And now hold on a minute. Oh, we had only had one referee under the goalposts. As now each is under an upright.
Guess we get a new play clock.
Snap this time is very good. Kick is away and is good. 5:47 to go. The Lobos have an answer and now take a 16-13 lead. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk 106.7.com.
would you buy with a $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse? You could load up for hunting, fishing, and camping. Grab a Traeger or a Pit Boss smoker, high-end Vortex optics, or top-notch boots and outdoor gear. When you get your insured windshield replaced by Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, you get your choice of 2 dinners at Los Corrales and 2 movie tickets, or a $100 window tint certificate. You're entered to win the $3,000 shopping spree at Sportsman's Warehouse. Call Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint today.
Hey, by the way, this is shame on me. Go over to the Facebook page and like the post that has broadcast this game. Share it, comment. We're giving away Cardinals tickets. So I should have been talking about that, but if you want to get in on it, go in there and start some conversation, as this is a really good game. 16-13, the Lobos are up with 5:47 to go. Northland Pioneer College kickoff. When it's time to kick off your college education, do so at Northland Pioneer College. You'll pay the lowest tuition in the state, as this short kick is taken by Jackson. Gets all sorts of blocking help from the back, and this time there are flags. He's out to the 39, but the Lobo fans again are feeling awfully picked on, as this flag is sitting at the 18-yard line. Bradshaw Mountain fans are booing, probably because they're like, bro, we've been doing this all day.
Yeah, that was a clear block in the back, and the official, the white hat, was on that right. That was an enthusiastic, about 15-yard flag throw by him, so he was committed to that call. But it was pretty clear, and it was right at the point. I think that was at 30 that was coming through. And looked like he had a chance to make a play on the return man, and just got obliterated from behind.
Another reminder: go to Facebook or YouTube and start a like, start a share, start a conversation. Give us a comment, and you'll be in the running to win tickets to this week's Cardinals game against Carolina. The Cardinals trying to go 2-0. The Lobos trying to go 3-0, and now a long field in front of Bradshaw Mountain. Womble probably needs them to get it, what do you say, to the 25 to feel especially comfortable?
Yeah, I would think you'd need it inside the 30.
Start this drive with a handoff to Jackson. The hole closes up with a quickness, as I think that was Hayden Nichols was able to get there and stop that one. Yes, it was.
Yeah, good job there again. The interior linemen do a good job holding their spots, and looks like we got a man down for. So it looks like this one might be a while.
It's the Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center injury report. Summit Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game. Let's take another quick address of our Ace Hardware keys to the game, though, as they have a 24/7 locksmith, and the next time you're locked out of your car, just need a key replaced any hour of the day or night, any night of the week. Call Ace Hardware in Pine Top, Overguard, and Show Low. It seemed at the start of it, the question was the Lobos matching up with Kylan Jackson, who has 98 yards on 24 carries. But right now it seems like the greater concern is Sanford, who has since the first drive, or the final drive, I should say, in the second quarter, thrown for somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 yards and has really kept Snowflake's defense off balance.
Yeah, and I think that's made it a little more difficult. They're balanced that run and pass pretty well, and so when you do that, it takes kind of your pass rush away. And he's had plenty of time in there to kind of pick where he needs to go with the football, and they've been able to run some of those deep in routes.
This is a big loss potentially on the defensive end. Diego Gaius is not very confident initially anyway, walking off the field. He's been in the Lobos backfield an awful lot. If Bradshaw Mountain's able to tie or take the lead, definitely want to see him out there from a Bears perspective. So we'll see how long he's off, as again, Summit Healthcare Regional Medical Center has everything your athlete needs to get back in the game.
Yeah, and I don't know, where does he play? He's not their center, is he, on the offensive line?
Does not tell us.
Just says O-line on the roster. And you always worry, right, if he is the center, and you always worry about that quarterback-center exchange. But
second down and 8 after the injury timeout. Sanford with an empty backfield tries to set up a screen, gets this to Jackson. He's got some room to run as he is upended just shy of the 15. Nichols there with the stop. It looks like he gained 6.
Yeah, pretty good play design, and Nichols, it's a good thing Nichols is able to kind of fight through that line of blockers, because It looked like that play had some bigger potential than that 4-yard gain.
Third down, they're calling it 3, so he gained, we'll call it 5. This again seems like you'd want to just give this to your big back and allow him to try to churn for those 3 yards, but he has not had quite the same consistency in the second half that he's had in the first. He's in the pistol. There's got receivers on either side. Now a man coming in motion right to left, and Bradshaw wants to talk about it. 4:24 left, 16-13, Snowflake with the advantage. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
Northland Pioneer College is cheering for you on and off the field. Secure a win by enrolling in college courses at NPC. Earn college credits in high school, learning new skill or trade. Complete classes that will transfer to any Arizona university. NPC has 3 new bachelor's degree programs and over 100 associate degrees, certificates, and areas of study to choose from. The playing field for your future is wide open. Take a shot and score big by enrolling in classes at NPC. Northland Pioneer College. Your journey starts here.
The night off.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford.
On the right side of the line, still nobody counting anything. This has taken a long time to develop off the sideline.
This is only 25 seconds as well. This is ridiculous.
Now taking the snap, wanting to set this one going back, but it was read by Snowflake, still able to get to the 15. That might be enough for a first down. Nichols there with the stop. No, it looks like Bradshaw Mountain is about a half-yard short. Needed 3, got 2.5. Well read there by Nichols. Same play kind of designed that the Lobos just scored with.
Yeah, and I don't, they ran 8 different motions out of that thing, and then kind of threw that thing back, and I'm sure the intent was to cause a lot of confusion, but a really good linebacker play. And
well, they got 2 timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, this is they may just be trying to draw them off sides here. This is kind of a do or die situation. If they don't get it, they're going to be in big trouble.
3:38 to go. They got 2 timeouts. They take the snap, give to Jackson, who's going to get the corner and get a first down, and he's a lot more as he's over the 40, the 50, and brought down at the 40 in Snowflake territory. Jones with the tackle. It looked as if he was going to get stopped for just about enough for the first down. And you see Nichols couldn't get him there from the shoe tops. Another tackle he runs through, and then he's on the far sideline and into Lobo territory all the way down to the 38.
Well, Snowflake's lucky there's not 15 more added onto that, because that was probably a textbook horse collar tackle.
46 yards on the play, 144 now on the night for Kylan Jackson, which is right around where he averages. And you're also, with 3 minutes to go, 2 timeouts, probably a 1 first down away from Womble's leg range.
And he's been impressive all night. He runs hard. He's been able to break tackles right at the point of attack.
Comes out 1st and 10, trailing 16-13 in the pistol formation. 3 receivers coming off to the left. Sanford, who's thrown for 79 yards, hands this one to Jackson, who's able to get through the initial defense, but falls forward to gain just 2. 2 minutes and 30 seconds as the ball is set. 2:25. Let's see when this ball is snapped.
Looked like that ball was getting ready to pop out as well on that handoff. He got it a little high up on his shoulder pads, but he was able to come in and make a play.
Clock approaching 2 minutes to play. 2nd down and 7. Jackson again back in the pistol, fake the handoff. 2 receivers breaking out to the left side. Now Sanford's trying to move up in the pocket, but it's going to be brought down back on the 40 for a loss of 6.
Yeah, Ziggy Olberg there, he took on 2 blockers, fought his way through. The quarterback kind of stepped up and tried to get underneath him, and he just kept working.
Timeout taken by Bradshaw Mountain, facing 3rd down and 13 with 1:49 to go, trailing 16-13 at Show Low Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com.
Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at showlowford.com.
You've been there, waiting forever at the gas station for the guy to free up so he can fill up your propane tank. Or worse, when the only qualified propane technician decided to stay home that day. Yep, you've been there, and I have too. That's why now I get my propane from Ace Hardware every time. You get Ace Hardware's world-famous customer service when you stop in for propane. That's right, you get in, you get out, and you get a great deal on propane and everything else. From Ace Hardware at their locations in Pine Top and Heber. Ace Hardware is proud to support White Mountain Sports.
This is an awfully similar situation that the Snowflake defense was facing coming out of the 3rd quarter. It was 3rd and 14 then, and they were able to hit, I believe that was Dabney at the time, to pick up the 16 yards and eventually set up the touchdown. So the Lobos have been in this situation before. Likewise, Bradshaw Mountain, with 1 timeout remaining, will come to the line of scrimmage with the pistol. 2 receivers out wide to the right. Sanford drops back. He's got time now as he unloads to the far sideline. Caught at the 30, but will be shy of the 1st down. Gains 11. Willis was there with the stop.
Really good catch, good contested catch, and went up high, pointed the football, did a really, really good job up there.
It's actually stopped at the 31. So it'll be 4th down and 3, maybe closer. Yeah, it looks like it's about 3. Clock stopped after the pass went out of bounds. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. This could be the ball game with Bradshaw Mountain having just 1 timeout.
Yeah, I guess this answers the question about where they're comfortable with their kicker's range.
It would be close to 50. Empty backfield for Sanford. 5 receivers with trips to the near side. From the gun, he drops back. He's looking to the right. He throws this one over the top, and it's out of bounds.
It's just got to be disappointing, on the Bradshaw Mountain sideline, just throw an uncompetitive pass that I don't know what he saw or what he felt, but that certainly puts Snowflake in a really good spot.
You see, it looked like he might have had a man with a little bit of space and just can't deliver, and you get a whole new appreciation for LeDuc.
Yeah, and I don't know, right, because that Snowflake's playing that kind of 2-shell zone, and I don't know if he just struggled to get the ball over the front part of that zone and in underneath the back part of it, but right, just a little bit of touch there. Sometimes the easiest throws are the hardest ones.
1 time, they can stop the clock. 16-13, the Lobos with the lead. This one's running to the near side. LeDuc turns the corner, puts a heat on somebody, as now he's letting him know. He does get out of bounds to stop play with 1:27, but I think that the truck stick there is going to be worth it. Look at that. That might be our Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call. When you need quality glass at affordable prices, Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN. You always like to potentially have the glass shattering hit of the game delivered by your quarterback in the final minute and a half.
Well, and who knows with the play clock here, they may not have to run another play. It may not hurt him if they don't make that. It seems like they haven't been running that play clock all night, so.
Handoff is going to try the left side of the line. Gains another 3. And Bradshaw Mountain will use its final timeout. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. 16-13, the Lobos lead. From Snowflake's perspective here, you definitely want to move the chains just because you don't want to put this into fate's hands with a long snap. They do not give LeDuc an awful lot of space. There has been some pressure on just about every kick that he's attempted, but you don't want it to be the time that one is blocked here on your own 39. This is a big play.
Yeah, first down here seals the game. You're going to expect, Bradshaw Mountain's going to come out 5-man front or 6-man front or something like that and try to really clog up any of those inside runs. At this point, time and score, I think Snowflake, they need to come away here with a first down. They don't want to throw an incomplete pass, so I don't think there's any chance that they're going to throw this football. But if you get a running back out on the corner and he goes out of bounds after getting a first down, that's not a bad thing either. They'll still be able to run the clock out after that. But they need to get this first down if they want to ice this thing right here.
Jones out wide left, Willis in the slot, Raven H back, Smith on the right. Going to be a design run for LeDuc. Cuts it up at the 40, still on his feet at the 42, still on his feet approaching the 45, and that ought to do it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Just a nice off-tackle power run. That left tackle got off the ball really quick, really good, and aggressive, kind of opened that lane up, and LeDuc did a good job just putting his head down and nice, strong finishing run.
Got LeDuc with 33 yards on 7 carries. And a day when Green was bottled up. 26 yards, 12 carries. 163 yards throwing for LeDuc, though that's very, very, very unofficial because of the 2 holding calls that brought back a bunch. So don't quote me on that. But it's interesting on a day when he had to carry the offense with his right arm that he winds up icing the ball game, doing an awful lot of what we saw him do his sophomore year, just getting those tough yards from the quarterback position.
Yeah, it's nice to come on the road, get a win. It doesn't, it's going to be ugly. If you watch it, you may not come away thinking great, but at the end of the year, it's a win just like a 60-0 game will be.
16-13, and both sides are lining up to shake some hands. The Lobos have to come from behind for the second time in 3 games. Both of those in the fourth quarter after they allow a lead to slip through their fingers, but are able to keep their composure and make the plays needed to pick up a W. We'll have our conversation after this. It's Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk106.7.com.
You have a vision, a brand to build, a message to share. You need signs that turn heads, apparel that makes a statement, banners that grab attention, and business cards to leave a lasting impression. Your success starts with the right tools. That's where we come in. Allegra Sholo brings your ideas to life with custom designs and top quality products, helping you stand out and grow your brand. Let's make something amazing together. Call Allegra Sholo today.
For years, he's battled the toughest opponent of his life.
He's down.
But today, with Dr. Arnaud and Comfort Fit Dentures, the fight changes. With Comfort Fit Dentures and Sholo, you can taste the victory. With free exams and x-rays, an in-house lab, and payment plans starting at just $110 a month, Comfort Fit makes it easy to claim victory. Call today for your free exam and x-rays.
Want the best deal on your new car, truck, van, or SUV? Go to Sholo Ford. Sholo Ford has the best deals. Not only does Sholo Ford sell the #1 truck in America, Guy Hatch guarantees you won't find a better deal on that truck anywhere else. Sholo Ford sells the best at the best price. Sholo Ford on the east end of the Deuce and at SholoFord.com.
When you think glass, think Deemer's Glass in Lakeside. Deemer's Glass offers the best selection of quality glass with affordable prices. They do full home window packages, replacement windows, custom shower doors and enclosures, custom mirrors in many shapes, styles, and colors, glass doors and hardware, commercial glass for buildings and offices, skylights, screens, fire-rated glass for your fireplace or stove, window film, and more. Visit Deemer's Glass today on Porter Mountain Road in Lakeside or call 1-888-GLASSMAN.
Want to go fishing? Head to Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. They have fishing supplies, outdoor fishing attire, and fishing gear. Plus all kinds of bait including live worms, flies, and lures. The staff are experienced anglers and they can advise you on what you need, where to go, and what type of bait the fish are biting on. Plus, pick up your fishing, camping, and boat permits. When you think fishing, think Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport. Located on Highway 260, 1 mile before the casino.
Welcome to Horn Auto Center. I'm Rochelle, and we are the Chevy GMC Cadillac store that saves you more. The 2026 vehicles are here. Come check out our great deals on new Chevy, GMC, and Cadillac. We have tons of Chevy Trax and Chevy Trailblazers and lots of pretty colors. $2,500 off makes them all priced under $30,000. Come in and see us. We are Horn Auto Center, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more.
Final score 16-13. The Lobos come from behind after holding a 9-0 lead. Watch as Bradshaw Mountain has 2 drives where they have to settle for field goals, but then similarly seem as if they're about to potentially have to tie, but run a reverse with an option to pass. It was converted with relative ease to take the lead. 13-9, Snowflake trailed at that point, and eventually able to go on a long drive, aided first by a mistake, kicked out of bounds. So the Lobos with just a 65-yard field, but facing 4th and 5, called a timeout. We're kind of looking at this like, is this something that Norton might be able to kick in? They still have 2 timeouts after that. Are you playing to try to just win this on the field goals? That was how most of the points were being scored at that juncture. But first off, what did you see that led you to believe that was going to be an availability, and then talk about how the Snowflake coaches were able to draw that up?
Yeah, and I'm sure that was a throwback screen, but it felt like earlier in the game, every time that Green had kind of gone away from the initial flow of the offensive set, he was able to get himself free, that those linebackers had kind of chased that ball to play side. And I thought I saw something that I thought they'd come back to on that, and they came back with that throwback screen. I think, I don't know if they saw the same thing on that, or if that's something that they had from game film and prepping to be ready if they knew if they needed 5 yards at some point or 3 yards that they were going to go with that play. I know a lot of times when football coaches game plan, they'll keep something like that in their pocket, right, for a big time and when they absolutely need something. But it absolutely worked. I mean, it couldn't have been drawn up and executed any better than what it was. So
that's going to be the punctuating drive of the game, the Horn Auto Center drive of the game, the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more. Horn Auto Center drive of the game. When you had talked about it looked as if both sides were able to gain the relatively easier yards between the 20s. And when they got in the red zone the last time, Bradshaw Mountain was able to dial up a play that was a little bit more of the trick variety. The Lobos option was something that, again, was a little bit more, what's the word to use, conventional?
Yeah, maybe a little more conventional, but I think that just lets you know how well both teams were playing defensively, that the teams just couldn't go to their first and second options to get that ball into the end zone. And, Snowflake certainly, especially when they get inside the 20, I mean, they just like to run the ball down your throat with LeDuc and Green. And Bradshaw Mountain did a pretty good job forcing them into third and fourth options.
So that the Horn Auto Center drive to the game that was punctuated with the 28-yard score pass between LeDuc and Green, as the Horn Auto Center is the Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC store that saves you more. Deemer's glass shattering hit of the game. If you need glass for your home or business, Deemer's Glass in Lakeside is hands down the best place to call when you need quality glass at affordable prices. Deemer's Glass, call 1-888-GLASSMAN. The glass shattering hit of the game, I kind of said tongue-in-cheek in the final series there for the Lobos, but that big run for LeDuc where he puts his shoulder down, the only thing you could criticize is that he went out of bounds with it, but he leveled the boom.
Yeah, that and then that third down run too was just a physical, tough run at the end of it. But
he is being awarded the wood.
The wood. So all right, well,
we're on the same page.
Yeah, it sounds like we're on with the Snowflake kids, but it certainly was it was a game on the line type of play as well, and so. When LeDuc gets in that spot, he's going to rely on his physicality and his strength and his power to do that, and that's just what he did on those last 2 runs.
Now, before we continue that thought, we're going to send our congratulations out to Amanda Silverhorn. Amanda Silverhorn, you are the winner of the drawing for the Arizona Cardinals tickets. Amanda Silverhorn, send us a private message, and we will make sure that you are given those Arizona Cardinals tickets. Now, that the Lobos were able to both get the win and ice the ball game on the ground with LeDuc's legs while Green was having such a tough game. How big were those runs in that situation from LeDuc, and what did Green do, especially as the game went on, to make sure that this thing was going to get iced?
Well, I think that the running game kicked in, especially on that last drive where they were able to throw that touchdown pass, but that thing set up early with a couple of those off-tackle power runs from Green, and then LeDuc was able to finish that. I think LeDuc is just such an effective short yardage runner. You're able to get another blocker in, and he's so physical. He's awfully tough to stop in 1-2 yard to go situations. So
we're joined by Coach Reddick. I wondered if you'd remember after that kind of skin of your teeth sort of ball game there. How's the heart rate?
Oh, it's good. Every time we come to this place, it seems to be this is how this game kind of takes shape. So we're glad to get out here with a win, but it's ugly. Right?
I had suspected that the ALA West team was going to have the best combination of size and speed that you're going to face this year, but these guys seemed as big and faster. Am I wrong?
They're good. They're athletic. They're well coached. Obviously, Bob runs a great program here at Bradshaw. They're good year in and year out, and we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We've known that Bradshaw's a good program, and they've got kids, they've got athletes.
What, was it just a matter of their personnel that was making it hard for Green?
We kind of had a plan to come in here and throw the ball a little bit, and I felt like we accomplished that. We did good throwing the football, and trying to find the happy medium as far as run pass. That it's tough. I know that Snowflake Lobo football, we run the football, but for us to play in December, we're going to have to be more balanced, and we know that. So we came in here planning on working on some stuff, trying to throw the ball, and we accomplished that. But you see that we've got to find a better, healthier balance between the two.
What adjustment did Bradshaw Mountain make going into their final big drive in the second quarter? What was enabling them to move the ball with more efficiency at that point?
I would say probably more or less our mistakes. I think that's the more thing is usually when we break down like that and somebody has big drives on us, we're missing tackles. We have guys that are schematically, they're in the right place. We just miss tackles. And that was the culprit of it. And they cut a couple balls. There was that, it's a lot of things. But
so you might have answered the follow-up question. It was the biggest adjustment that the Lobos then had to make was just making sure they were bringing down everybody?
100%, yeah. We feel like our defensive backs are really, really good, and we can put those guys on islands. I mean, you've seen it time in and time again where people try to test those guys along the sidelines, and Gian and Mason and Christian, and those guys are long. So I think that's it is you see that, and then we get down here and they're driving, and we get them on a fourth down, and a guy runs across the middle of the field wide open. You know what I mean? So it's kind of pick your poison, and they're like I said, they're well coached. They know how to exploit certain things, but defensively, I felt like we played really good tonight. I mean, they scored on a trick play down there towards the end zone, but other than that, they gave them a couple field goals.
Yes, no, and that then is the big question there. Especially after that long drive where you're forcing them into a field goal situation, gave up a lot of yards between the 20s, but really got stronger inside the red zone. What was the key to that?
Just buckling down and staying true to what the scheme is and being disciplined. I think that's the most important thing. And usually at the end of one of those drives, we get a timeout, and that group settles down, and Coach Smith and those guys tell them, hey, you just got to do your job. And usually when we do our job, we do a really good job. It just is getting those guys to execute and doing the things that we need to do. So,
talk about Raven's ball game. He made some circus-style catches, having to go back and get some, but more importantly, was able to continue with all of his momentum running forward. What kind of athlete are you dealing with there?
Raven's phenomenal. I mean, he's a kid that he grew up playing quarterback, so he's an athlete. He knows what he's doing, and he put on 25, 30 pounds in the offseason, and you can tell. I mean, he's playing both sides of the ball for us. He's one that we wanted to try to get involved in the offense more and throw him some balls, and we did that tonight. And you can see, like, we have athletes everywhere. It's a work in progress, right? Like, I've been with Snowflake football. We had this discussion earlier this week. I've been with Snowflake football for 13 years, and what I know is that we run the football, and that's what we've always done. But the last 3 years, we haven't won a state championship, and for us to get to the peak, we've got to be able to throw the football, and we know that, and we're going to continue to get better at that and try to, like I said, try to find a healthy balance between the two.
And then with that in mind, how well is Jacob LeDuc managing all of these different options, and what is his ceiling as far as trying to deliver? Jacob
has the highest ceiling, and I think we all see that. He threw the ball really well tonight. He made a great read and a bad throw. Right? We told him he's got to throw that either back shoulder or he's got to push it up the sidelines, the ball to Mason that got picked off. But other than that, Jacob threw the ball really well. He had a couple drops that could have taken him up. I don't know what you guys have him for. I bet he was pushing close to 200 yards.
Well, we didn't know how to score the two holds, so that was the big thing.
And, man, it seems like every time we get something going and we start rolling, we get a flag and it's back. So it's tough, it's tough. And but you got to fight through it. And that's the one thing I can say about this group. Again, week 1, now week 3, like it's resiliency, right? Like we go down and we fight our way back.
Well, not just that, 3 playoff teams.
Yeah.
Playoff team that was playing for a state championship game week 2. You're bringing in so many new players up front. You're 3-0 coming out of it. What is your sense of how you're developing at this point?
We got beat up tonight. Cannon got hurt. Our center got hurt during practice. He got stepped on, and he's a tough kid, man. He's not one that you would ever see complain, and he was hobbling along tonight. He struggled. We finally had to make a switch in the second half because it was just hurting him so bad. And Lane slid into center. Lane's never played center. He slid into center, and he did a great job. And that group's going to get tested depth-wise. That's one of my favorite things about playing 4A football is you see it week in and week out. You're in a dogfight. You're in a dogfight, and it's essentially it's survival of the fittest. That's kind of what we call it. And at Snowflake, we preach it all the time. You got to turn your 4s into 3s, your 3s into 2s, and your 2s into 1s. If you've got any chance in winning, it's on us as coaches to develop our kids. And we're pretty beat up right now. So we'll go home, we'll ice up, and we'll get back to work on Monday.
So last question then. Talk us through the decision-making as far as calling that play, the 28-yard score that Leduc and Green were able to get. Was that something that you'd been observing, or how did you know to go into that well?
So I'll be honest. We put that play in yesterday. It's on my Play Carter's Bradshaw special. So you kind of week in and week out, Coach Rickardson's huge for this, right? He's a big BYU guy, and BYU's famous for gadget plays, right? We feel like going into a game, we try to have 1 or 2, and you look for certain situations that you can find to use those plays. And we called timeout, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, hey, it's one of those things, right? I call this play, and if it works, I look like a genius, and if it doesn't work, I look like an idiot. And props to the kids up front. They did a great job. They executed it. And when we preached it in the huddle, we said, hey, let's run Bradshaw special. Everybody was bought in, and that was what I was happy about. I was like, oh, yeah, that'll work. Let's do it. And Jacob comes back, and Jacob goes, I can't believe that worked. And, you start laughing, but sometimes that's what you need. You know what I mean? To get some momentum, you're struggling with momentum, and we snuck one out. You know what I mean? You snuck one out. So.
Help us out with our last bit of housekeeping here. We need to do a Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint player of the game. Get your windshield replaced by the experts. What's your knee-jerk reaction to that question?
Oh, you're saying hit of the game?
No, the player of the game.
Player of the game?
We gave Leduc the hit of the game.
100%.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. We were down there, and the refs were like, hey, he ran out of bounds. I'm like, I didn't see Jacob run out of bounds. I saw the kid fly out of bounds, but I didn't see. So, and then, yeah, they were laughing. But, no, player of the game, I don't know if there was anybody that really was a huge standout. I felt like receivers-wise, everybody kind of caught the ball. I'd have a hard time not giving it to Mason just because of the impact that he had blocking up front and the balls that he caught. This is week 3 now. The kid freaking gets after it.
We called Connor Reed's name.
He did. He had a boatload of tackles. And, Hayden's another one. You could give Hayden the player of the game every week. The kid just tallies it up. We have to get after Hayden. You guys will love this. Have to get after Hayden a lot of times. He's too fast. And we're like, hey, slow down. And when he slows down, he plays really, really good. And it's a testament to him. Kid watches a boatload of film, and he's a good football player. But Connor, we felt like Connor did. Connor had a really good night. Ziggy, too. Ziggy had a couple sacks. Mr. Freshman himself. That's right. He's turning into a pretty dang good football player. So
you only get him for 4 more years.
I know, right? Yeah. Sometimes you're blessed, that's for sure.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate you guys doing this, coming all the way here. I know the Snowflake Lobo community really appreciate you guys.
Well, we
this.
love the community, and we're grateful that we're able to have this opportunity.
Awesome. You guys travel safe.
And I start complaining about the refs all the time now, so I fit right in.
So you heard it from Coach Reddick as he agrees that Connor Reed, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, player of the game. Get your windshield replaced by the experts, but also a shout-out for Mason Rabin for a variety of different ways that he was able to make an impact, both of those sharing the Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint player of the game. As we thank you for joining us here, the Lobos 3-0. We're going to be back with you again from Snowflake High School with Catalina Foothills up next on Friday. And we'll just continue rolling with the Lobos as they win this one. Final score, last call here from Bradshaw Mountain, 16-13. As we thank everybody who's involved with putting this together, we thank our sponsors, Ace Hardware and Pine Top Overgarden Sholo, the Honda Ski and Outdoor Sports Store, Northland Pioneer College, Horn Auto Center, Summit Regional Medical Center, Comfort Fit Dentures, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass. As always, this is the Sholo Ford presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 and iTalk1067.com. We'll see you next week.
Communication station. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of This has been Sholo Ford's presentation of high school football on iTalk 106.7 KNKI Pinetop and iTalk1067.com. Brought to you in part by Northland Pioneer College, Ace Hardware of the White Mountains, Niemer's Glass, Mountain Mobile Auto Glass and Tint, Summit Regional Medical Center, Horn Auto Center, Honda Ski and Outdoor Sport, and Comfort Fit Dentures. This broadcast has been a copyrighted production of iTalk 106.7 and Country Mountain Airwaves, a Kopaniki communication station. Any rebroadcast